welcome back to the Game Dev Arena channel. We have a tutorial walkthrough real quick on how to set up Google AdMob in your Defold project. First and foremost, we want to get that extension. To get that extension, we go through in the dependency tab underneath project here. You would add the latest link through the GitHub channel, and that will get you the extension. Once you add that link in there, we go up to project and we hit fetch libraries. Once you fetch that library, the extension gets added in there. Once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is we need to add a couple lines into the project text file. So you go in, right click, and we're going to open up the game.project text file within a text editor. I'm using Notebook, obviously. We go down, and the very last lines here, we're going to add these lines. And these lines here are what comes standard within the tutorial walkthrough that you can find on the Defold website. But once you add these lines, you can go in and save, and you'll be able to see those lines added in here at the bottom of the whole filtered list, and then they're there for you. Once you've done that, then you have all that set up. You basically have where Google AdMob will provide information to your scripts as long as you have everything set up correctly. So we're going to go through the scripts now, the GUI script, to get everything set up so we can display a banner ad, which is what we're going to be doing in this video, is displaying a banner ad. Really simple. I'm going to do other videos with the other ads too, but for today, in most simplistic fashion, we're just going to do the banner ad, since it's, in my opinion, the easiest to implement because it's just going onto the screen. So we're going to start out in our initial function. We're going to set up a banner ad unit, and you get this particular string within the parentheses off of the Google AdMob website. If you have an account set up, you need to have an account set up if you plan on using Google AdMob in a Defold project. If you don't have an account set up, it's not going to work. So I got this here from the Google AdMob section where you can test out ads, and I put that in there. We go now, and within here we're gonna get the extension. So basically here we're saying if we have the extension of AdMob, then we're gonna set the callback. You must set the callback. If you are going to add ads for iOS, then this admob.request_IDFA would be needed. Since I'm using Android for this particular walkthrough, I don't need to have that one, so that's why it's commented out. We're going to initialize the AdMob extension so that way we get the information provided from AdMob for any ad initialization that we're trying to do, basically loading those ads. You can see a couple of commented lines on the interstitial ad launching, a rewarded ad launching, and a rewarded interstitial ad launching, and the way that would be done. And then here, which is the banner, you'll see we have load banner and then our variable with that self.banner_ad_unit set in there. So this way, once the AdMob extension is initialized, it sends the information for whatever ad unit that needs to be loaded, and then it goes through and sets the ad. This last one here is just saying the privacy settings for AdMob, so that way everything is up to code, everything is up and up, so that way there's no issues. So once you have everything set up in the initial function, we need to now set up our callback function for the AdMob extension. So we go up and we create a local function with the AdMob. We have a couple of little parameters here with self, message ID, and message, because we're going to be sending messages to this callback that will go into the AdMob extension to initialize everything and then load that banner. So we go through and we do a message ID for the add mob message initialization. That's going to start the process of sending out messages properly to whatever ad we're trying to implement. First thing we do here is that message.event, gonna do an event complete, and I just followed along on the tutorial, and it provided an initialization complete for the print function. That way, if you're in the editor, you'll be able to see that. Then you have a little error here. So we set up a successful transition to the initialization and the error transition if there's an error. So that way it can tell us what the error is. Then as we go down, we got a bunch of other else ifs that we're gonna add for the message ID with banner. We can do the same thing for the other ad units if we had those. Right now, like I said, we're just working on banner ads. So we're just gonna do a message for the banner ad. So that's why you see the admob.msg_banner is sending a message for the banner to be loaded. So we get another event that's going to load the event, and if it does load correctly, you'll see I have the GUI node that's within that box. That's a text box that's labeled text. If it does show up, it'll show up with success. It'll have the banner show up at the proper location, which is position top center, and you can have a bunch of other positions also. If you didn't want to do top center, let's see, you can do add mob, and then you got position, and then you got all different positions here that you can put the banner. I just chose top center just because it's the easiest way to go, and it makes it most visibly seen while not covering up my nodes that I have placed in the center of the screen. But you have all different types of positions. Now, one thing that I found, you cannot do a vector position. That's what I initially tried to begin with, did not work. So you must make sure that you use this particular parameter to get the position of your ad correctly. And then of course I have another print message for success. And then if it fails to load, then text that's underneath the white box in the screen there will display failed. And of course we print in failed underneath in the console if necessary. And then of course in the collection, we just add the GUI in there, and yeah, we're good to go. So one thing that I will mention is if you try to display the project from the editor, it's not going to display the ad. You actually have to use an Android device or Android emulator. I have meme on my machine here, so I already have the app installed. If in order to get that ad on there or get the app on there, you would go ahead and build for the Android deployment. Go in here, I'll show you. So we got the Android folder, then we have the APK that you would just drag over into the Android emulator, or if you have an Android device, you would install it on the Android device. And then we open it up. Now we open up the game, so we're waiting. Success. And we have the thing. with my own notes and paste it somewhere, probably in the description of this ad, so you can be able to follow along with the text as well as the video. But if you happen to get the ad to show up, then definitely leave a like on the video. If not, leave a comment, and we can definitely troubleshoot what's going wrong. But with that, as long as you follow along, you should be able to get an ad popped up. Like I said, you have comments out the other types of ads and how you would do that also. So pretty simple process once you actually get it down. Once I was able to figure it out, it was simple to get through. But with that, there's nothing else. Like I said, leave a like if you're able to get the ad popped up. Leave a comment if you're not able to, so we can troubleshoot and see what is going wrong. But with that, there's nothing else I wanted to say. So with that, it's game over.